Hello, everyone. My name is Julian Gau, and I'm the music director of the Horizon Ensemble. I'm here today with composer Hayley Qin. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I'm glad to be back in Boston and super excited for our concert this weekend. The Horizon Ensemble is presenting Shades of Autumn this Saturday, November 16th at 3 p.m. in the Church of the Covenant. We're playing various lovely pieces about this beautiful season, and the second is Three Moods in New England by Hayley. So I'm curious, what are some of your inspirations for this piece?
Yeah, so again, thank you for having me on the concert. And the piece I would maybe describe in like two ways. One is that I've been really inspired by nature and traveling as a composer. So usually I kind of combine my experiences of traveling to nature or like visiting different places into my composition. And in this piece in particular, I think it's a very personal piece. I usually kind of relate to like landscape or history related to a place, but in this one in particular is more about personal memories and personal experiences. So, for example, the piece is in three movements. The first movement is about Burlington, Vermont, which was a trip I took exactly the same time last year with a friend. So it's autumn time, and then we were driving to Vermont and seeing all this like really beautiful kind of late autumn view, and it was quite special. So in the piece, you will hear like the things we saw on the road, for example, a little bit snow, even the moonlight, the very like peaceful valley, and also some other moments of music. Actually, like we were driving and we were playing like Louis Armstrong. Yeah, so it's like some little quotes from like Moonlight in Vermont, that song, if you know. So yeah, so that is like the first movement, and the second movement is about the Memorial Chapel in Middletown, Connecticut, where I had my undergrad. And a very special moment of that was I was having a pipe organ lesson in my college, and then the organ was like in the chapel, and then in this piece I was trying to kind of imitate the feeling of me kind of first playing the pipe organ and feeling like the vibration of the architecture and atmosphere of that. So kind of that like excitement, energy, but also kind of like sacred feeling of the organ music. And the last movement is actually based in Massachusetts, is like about the Forest Hills. So I personally really love the Forest Hills Cemetery as a place for me to like relax and really kind of calm down whenever I have something, like things in life. So I just go there. And then I remember one morning, also in like autumn season, probably October or November, I was there, and then it was really quiet, and I just saw like the leaves falling down from trees, like that kind of like shimmering, like swirling leaves kind of surrounding you, that moment. And also some like walking down like the little hills and kind of being like embraced by those like trees, and also like gravestones, like it felt everything is very kind of special and peaceful at the moment. So those are some of the inspirations that I kind of incorporated in this piece.
Wonderful. Wow. Now I want to go to Forest Hills.
Yes.
I've actually never been to Forest Hill Cemetery myself, but that's super cool.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's it's very special place, I think. Also it's very good for like walking. Also like the composer Amy Beach was there rest there like as well.
Oh,
So
really? Oh.
musician. Yeah, you can also try to
Oh,
see.
that's sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
That's crazy because we just played Amy Beach in April.
Oh
We
yeah.
did Gaelic Symphony, and we're gonna do Amy Beach next April also.
Yeah.
Fun fact for any Horizon fans, look forward to another Amy Beach performance. Hoo hoo.
Yeah.
Oh, that's super cool. Speaking of composers, I'm curious what kinds of influences find their way into your music, especially this piece or others. For example, of course, the title and maybe the concept is perhaps a reference to Charles Ives' Three Places, right? There's a piece, Three Places in New England, by the American composer Charles Ives. And actually, Horizon played that piece last year in the summer, too. So, but yeah, what kind of people made their way into your artistic inspirations?
Yeah, that's a really great question. I think definitely like a lot of people come across, but Charles Ives is definitely one of those, especially for this piece, because yeah, like not only because Charles Ives like wrote this piece Three Places New England, and also like I mean it's the same region, like same like geographically, so that really relates to my experiences, but also maybe in a way that Charles Ives usually kind of used this very interesting like experimenting with musical quotes. Like he likes to quote like musical excerpts from like different themes, and I think in my piece I somehow also kind of like carry on this idea of like quoting little music from like songs or jazz, but also like quoting some like church bells or like songs from nature, like you will hear some like geese or like some leaves or wind. So I think that perspective also like kind of inspired from Ives. um, and yeah, I also thought about this composer, and he has been really influential for me. R. Maury Schaeffer. I don't know if you are familiar, but he's like a Canadian composer who is also the founding person of like a world forum of acoustic ecology, which is like super cool kind of idea that getting songs from nature and really trying to like get to know your like how your environment sounds like. So I've been like listening to a lot of his works as well. He writes a lot for like choir, and he used like beautiful graphic score to kind of imitate like water or waves. Yeah, like his string quartet number 2, I guess. Yeah, try to check him out too.
Oh, that's super cool. Yeah, I don't know this composer. I'll take a look.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, the having had a couple rehearsals, we're halfway into the rehearsal cycle. Having done a couple rehearsals on the piece, I think the way it captures nature and just the sounds as they exist. And then also the sounds as they exist filtered through, instruments and musical language is really quite striking. I'm a huge fan. So, for any nature fans in the audience or, music fans in the audience and fans of both, naturally, what are you hoping the audience will kind of take away from the piece?
Yeah, definitely. As I mentioned, it's like a piece inspired by nature and personal experiences. So I would really kind of invite the audience to try to maybe just find their personal moments in this piece. Like just kind of like, be there and like be present at the moment and trying to see like wherever the music will take you to. Um, and also, there are a lot of nuances, I think, in this piece. Like, nuance is really important for this one. So, like small changes, variations, and also like the spaces or even silence moments within those moments. So, maybe try to like enjoy those spaces as well.
Oh, that's super cool. And speaking of spaces, I'm curious what you think about a Church of the Covenant as a performance space. That acoustic it's quite echoey, for lack of a better term, and I find it very fun to work with for a repertoire like this. Wind type repertoire, music that kind of has long spaces and long stretches of time that allows the music and the ideas just to kind of float. I don't know. Do you think it works?
Yes, I think like the space is so important for like the performance, and I think each space has its own voice. For the Church of Covenant, I really love it. It's a kind of like a deep space where like the first row and the last row, like I bet like the sound is very different. But also it's really high, so like the sound kind of like goes like echoes a lot like through the space. So I think that create a very unique experience, especially for the second movement of this piece, like is trying to resonate some kind of organ music. So I felt like it works naturally, like organically with the church as well, because like for the wind instrument, it's really about like vibration of the air. And then I think when like for like this like 7 wind instrument is like a smaller ensemble, but somehow like in a very like larger space compared to the size of the ensemble. I think it's very interesting to see how that like works out in the space. But I haven't really gone to the very back row of the church to listen to it, so maybe I should do that on the concert.
It's definitely a kind of fun space where it does sound different depending on where you sit. I've been there as an audience member and as a conductor and as a musician, and I think that's the beauty of working with such a unique location. And I think it's cool when we have music that kind of calls attention to the spaces that we're in. So anyway, I mean, I'm super pumped for this one, and the other pieces on the program around this are Jennifer Higdon's Autumn Music, Igor Stravinsky's Dumbarton Oaks, and Joachim Raff's Symphony No. 10 to Autumn Time. It's a really fun set of pieces. And among this concert, I think your piece, stands out as something really kind of picturesque and very peaceful, and I'm a huge fan. So, so is there anything else you'd like to say to the Horizon fans out there?
I am really excited for the concert, and I hope to see many of you there. And I really also like appreciate that the Horizon Ensemble is bringing like new pieces of music and new ideas into the repertoire. So I'm really excited.
Well, as we always say, it's music from history and music by friends. So hooray!
Yay!
Alrighty, thanks everybody. See you later. Catch us November 16th at 3 p.m. in the Church of the Covenant. Okay, well, at the end of the take, you have to make one mistake. All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye. See you.